So I have $60,000 that's in USD saved, and I just turned 17, and I feel poor. That's just kind of the brutal, honest reality of it. And this is just kind of documenting my journey of trying to not feel as poor, I guess. But basically, if you don't know, I'm 17 years old. I just turned 17, and I have $60,000 in savings, as I just said. I've been trying to make money for as long as I can remember. I'm like 12 years old, just watching these. I don't know if you know Graham Stephan, like these Graham Stephan like finance YouTubers. Just learning about like freaking like taxes and stocks and real estate and stuff like that. I opened my stock market account the day I turned 13, and I started investing the day I turned 13. And I've tried so many businesses, so many things, and nothing stuck. Basically, I've tried like over 30 things, and a lot of those were like, some of them, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of them were like, I'm just gonna try this and see if it works. It's probably not gonna work. It's probably like a stupid idea, but I'm just gonna try it and see how fast I could fail at it, so I could just move on to the next thing. But a lot of them were actually like, this is the thing that's gonna get me rich finally. And I've been working on a big project for the past like 8-9 months, and I'm kind of concerned that that's the same thing I'm facing. Let me backpedal a bit because you might be a little confused. But essentially, the way I've made my $60,000 so far is through reselling. So I resell on Facebook Marketplace. I sell camera equipment, and that's kind of how I made my $60,000. And my income is actually not that much more than the amount that I've saved, but I just don't spend money. Just naturally, I don't know. I have this innate feeling that I just want to like save what I have, and I just don't want to spend it. And that's kind of been like the downfall of me, I suppose, because kind of the catalyst for me making this journal entry essentially is that because I haven't posted on here in like over 3 months, I just got like scammed, and I just got like freaking the wool pulled over my eyes like twice, and I'm just like, that's kind of it was just kind of a wake up call for me. And so I'll kind of explain. So basically, I buy cameras off Facebook Marketplace, and then I put them back up for sale. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the general idea. And so I just bought this camera off this very kind young lady, and her boyfriend actually goes to the same high school as me, and we had a nice conversation. We talked for a while, and she seemed like the sweet person. And at the end, like after I bought the camera and I paid her and everything, she's like, yeah, if you have any problems or questions, just let me know. And I'm like, okay, sweet. And this is gonna be an easy $200-300 profit, as sometimes it is when I buy these cameras. And I paid her freaking $530. And so I get home and I mess around with the camera, and it has this freaking issue, and it's about I look it up. I would dig more into it, and it turns out that this is like it's a pretty uncommon issue, and there's something like bent inside the camera. There's like some part that's like loose a little bit, and so it's about $100 or $150 repair. And so I message her and I send her all these videos, and she goes back and forth with me a little bit. She gives a few replies because that's what she said, like, if you have any problems, let me know. And then she suddenly sends this message. She probably freaking called like her dad or something, like, can you help me with this situation? Because she sends me this super formal, like 3 paragraphs out of nowhere, and it's like, the sale was as is, the deal is done basically. If you have any issues, that's kind of on you. The camera was a good deal anyways, which is true. And then she's like, thank you for understanding. Like, she was polite about it. She sent the super formal message out of nowhere, because she was like she was helping me casually before that and sending like these casual messages. And then I tried to give her a reply. I'm like, that's not fair. Like, you told me this works. And then I get blocked. And the thing is that it's like, it's more than I don't know how to explain it, but basically it's like the camera might just be gone. Like, it might just be $530 that's just gone, and that's just kind of the brutal reality that I have to deal with. And this is actually kind of a wake-up call for me, because my business partner and I, so I'm working on the thing I've been mentioning for about 8-9 months now. It's this huge project, so instead of trading my time for money, which is still what I'm doing with reselling, and I'm not providing any value to the world, I'm just taking stuff that people have put for too cheap, or or I'm negotiating people, I'm lowballing people on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm just selling their stuff for more. Instead of doing that, I'm actually contributing more value to the world with this new project that I'm working on. I can't say too much about it. Sorry. I just can't say too much about it, but wide release on it is coming soon. Like, we're really entering the last stages of this, because I'm in summer of high school right now, and I literally have my entire day. We're spending like literally, me and my business partner, we're not going on vacation anywhere over summer. We're not doing anything. We both have the exact same mindset. We've both built up to this. We both failed in business time and time again. My business partner has pieces of paper on his wall of just tally marks, and each tally mark is a cold call where he was rejected, and he has so many tally marks on his walls. It's just crazy. And so that just shows that it's literally like a visualization of his discipline and how much work that he's done to build up to this. But me and him are literally just grinding every single day on this. And essentially he called me out, and he was like, dude, like, I get that you're doing this camera stuff and you're funding a lot of the business with this, but you have freaking $60,000 in savings, and I'm basically, I can't say too much, but I'm getting like another 10,000 that I made from some sort of different source. I can't say too much, but I technically made 10K, which I am going to be feeding into the business. And I've told this guy, because I'm serious about this, like serious about this business, that I'm gonna feed my freaking $60,000-$70,000 that I have in this if need be. Probably not gonna need that, but like push come to shove, like the paid ads aren't working, we're gonna start at a few hundred, then it's gonna be thousands, then need be it's gonna be tens of thousands, and we're just gonna make this work. And this is gonna be one of the craziest. This is gonna blow up essentially, our business. But so he kind of called me out, like, dude, you need to like stop this camera stuff, because we're trying to work, and that's kind of getting in our way, and it's a lot of thinking, it's a lot of time, which in some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. 'Cause most of it, I spend maybe a few hours a day on my camera stuff at most. Usually, like, for most of the time that I've been doing this reselling, it's been less than that. It's been like at most like an hour a day, and but it's a decent amount of thought. I have to be messaging these people. I have to be arranging pickup. I have to be arranging stuff like that. I have to be figuring out payment. I have to be putting these cameras up for sale, thinking of prices, messaging people, coordinating selling the cameras themselves, so I can actually make the frickin' money. And so there's a decent amount of thought. And basically he's like, you can't be focusing on two things at once. And it was I totally agreed with him. I was like, yeah, that is totally true. But the reason why I've continued doing this camera stuff, and I've continued saving the money, which is kind of a point that I tapped on earlier, is that I'm such a freaking Jew with my money. Like, I've wanted to make money so bad, and the reason for that is because I've realized like everything in life is just like paywalled. And some of it's from my parents, like saving a lot of my money is from my parents probably, but like I've just wanted money to just have that sense of freedom, and to be not even to spend it on like lavish stuff, and to spend it even on myself, but just to have the option to, which is, I've heard this saying from a lot of like high ranking entrepreneurs, and they're like, I don't make money for the freedom itself. Like, I don't make money so I can retire and I can live my days just on golf courses and riding supercars, like driving supercars, and just like relaxing on a beach with like a coconut, like a, the little coconut water, and it has a little straw, just sipping that, like laid back. Like, a lot of people don't make money for that reason. I'd say most people don't make money for that reason. They make money to have the option for that. So you'll realize, you'll be like, well, when I get money, I'm going to do this and this and this and this, and I'm going to splurge it on this. And maybe when you start making money, it kind of becomes the thing. Well, like there are definitely some stuff that you want to spend the money on, and a lot of people do spend that money on those things, like supercars and like getting a nice car, and like upgrading like their fashion and stuff like that, and they get a nicer gym membership. Like, some things it does apply, but a lot of the things that people, and another thing is like coaching and mentorship, and like basically reinvesting in yourself. That is that is pretty common, but a lot of the things that you want to spend money on, you get the money and have evolved as a character, essentially, that you don't want to spend the money on those things anymore. And I realized that myself, and I was looking back at my payment history, like on my phone, and I just realized I barely spend any money, and I'm hoarding it all. And right now, all my money is in the form of it's in the stock market, and I essentially own 150 shares of Tesla stock, which is right now exactly $400 a share. So I have $60,000 in savings right now, essentially, not including my camera inventory, my money in my checking account, and then all my personal belongings, which is another few thousand. However, and that's cash, that's liquid. Like this, my savings, obviously, because I could sell that stock at any time, and so I've just been thinking, it's like, why am I hoarding all this money? Because I could totally blow this business up that I have right now, the one that I've been working on for several months now with my business partner, and everything is like lining up. We're in the last phases of it. It's about to go for public release. Like, this is a big business, and there's so much potential here, and it's going to become a multi-million-dollar business. So long as we both put our well, the whole team, we have a team now, but so long as our whole team puts our full effort into it. And I feel like if I keep Jew maxing and I just keep saving my money like a little Jew, it's not going to go anywhere, because they're kind of relying on me for most of the funding when it is needed. So far in the business, I've only spent a few thousand. That's on computing equipment, that's on cameras, that's because we're advertising via like cinematic, like high-end footage. So I've bought nice ass cameras for that, and then also we need like I bought some nice MacBooks, like nice like M4 Pro Max chips, or M4 Pro chip MacBooks, which are like, it's like $2,000. But I don't want to get too much into details, because you could probably derive what kind of business it is from that. But essentially, I'm throwing money into. I could totally blow this business up if I just start throwing money into it, and I start focusing completely on it, and I just go all in. And the thing is that is so scary, because I've come from this place of comfort. So the only reason why I was able to make that $60,000 in the first place was because I kept leaving my comfort zone, and I just kept trying new things. And the only reason I've been able to start making that money from reselling is from leaving my comfort zone. And I've never used Facebook Marketplace before then, because I was like 15. I was literally 15, and I borrowed my mom's account, and I had my dad drive me over to purchase this camera, and I had to borrow money. I literally had to borrow money from him. I had to borrow $200 from him to buy this camera, and I took that risk. It's like not a huge risk in the grand scheme of things, but I had to take that risk, and I took a lot of other risks after that, which I'm not gonna completely mention right now, but that's probably for a future journal entry, so to say. I don't even know what these videos are anymore, but there were so many learning experiences after that first camera that I bought, especially at the start, but now it's kind of sort of a system, and that's the benefit of having a lot of experience. Like the fact that I was able to take the risk, and I made that leap of faith, essentially, and I took this kind of unique way of making money rather than just getting a job, that I was rewarded with making an extraordinary amount of money, which is about $50 to $100 an hour. And so when I tell people, when they ask, I heard you make money from like reselling and stuff, like how much do you make? What's going on with that? And I tell them, it's like $50 to $100 an hour. They're like, whoa, that's crazy. That's insane. That's so much money. And so if I want to get to the next level, I have to sacrifice that, and that's so uncomfortable. I have to. I have this. So here's kind of the bigger picture. I've been trying to make money so much, and in so many different ways. I've tried so many different businesses. If you know Iman Gadzi, then I literally pirated his agency course, and I was binging it. I think it was over a summer or something, and I was binging it, and I was downloading his little printouts, his little motivational printouts to put on your walls. I was downloading them, and I was putting them on my walls, and I was going through the course, and I was following each of the steps, and I was even before that, I was doing drop shipping. I had, and after between the drop shipping and the agency, and along that kind of time period, which was like 2022 2023, I want to say, I started so many YouTube channels. I have so many YouTube channels, dude. Um, I started a weight loss channel because people were like, you know, you need to make content about your purpose, and I was like, I don't really know what my purpose is, and so this is a little bit tangential, but I was like, I don't even know what my purpose is. Let me start thinking, and then the thing was like, man, I really hate fat people. Like, that's kind of like a crude way to put it, but I was like, man, I really want to help fat people not be fat because it just makes me so uncomfortable, and so I don't. That's like a weird way to phrase it. But it's like I just feel like this sort of like need to help fat people every time I see one, which is pretty common because I live in the United States. But I was like, maybe that's my purpose. Let me try that. So I started a weight loss YouTube channel. No credibility, by the way. I was trying to help my mom, who's a little overweight, as like a credibility sort of thing. And I was like, that plan didn't go according to plan because that takes time. That takes a lot of dedication, and still there's a big gap in the credibility because I don't have any actual credentials, and I'm just like a kid, and like, who's this kid talking, basically. And so that ended up not working out, and I had no editing skills. Like, I was making these shorts about weight loss, which is like, who makes a YouTube account and then starts posting shorts about weight loss as like a little kid with like this pretty bad editing. And it's like, it ended up just being slop, and my scripts were, you could see through the reflection of my glasses I was reading directly off a script, and it just sounded super scripted, super emotionless, and the channel failed. And so that's just one thing. I tried like 4 different YouTube channels. I tried a TikTok account, I tried a clothing brand, I tried drop shipping like these phone cases with like astronauts on the back of them. That's a whole different thing. And that one I spent way more time on. I spent an entire day of several hours just making the website as good as I can. I was adding like a buy one get one, like a buy one get one at a discount, and I was setting all of that up. And I made this super nice ad. And by the time I had to actually put the ad up for sale, the time I actually had to pay the ad, I'm just realizing this now. Actually, this is crazy. So I spent so much time making the website and ordering like a sample product so I could actually see the product that I'm selling to people, and so also for advertisement. And I was doing all of that, and I made this super nice this super nice video to advertise it, and I made the whole website and everything, and all of that was either free or like $2. So like on Shopify, I think at the time it was like $1 to like start a website. And so and the sample phone case was like $1 or like $2 on like AliExpress, and I just had to wait for that to ship. And I did all of that, and then by the time I actually had to pay for the advertisement, I chickened out basically, and I just didn't want to do it. And I just had so much resistance, and I'm realizing now that I was literally being a Jew with my money at that point. You need to sacrifice to get a bigger gain. That's the whole that. And I think that what I want to get at here is that this is what you signed up for. So if you're a man watching this and you want to get into entrepreneurship and you want to essentially create your own path, this is what you're signing up for. There's already a path set out for you. You can go to college, you can get a degree, and you can have AI take over your job, and then you're fried and you're cooked. And yeah, but just as a side point, jobs aren't safe anymore. AI is going to take over everything. You need to prepare for AI, and you need to prepare for the future, essentially. And you can see all of these companies are doing layoffs. There's the company Block, which is like Jack Dorsey's company, who owns like Square, the payment thing, Square, and he just laid off so many people. This was like a few months ago, but like he laid off. He had this like party or something, and then the next day he laid off a bunch of the employees because of like AI is taking it over or something. And so you're not safe just getting a job. You definitely can't get a computer science job, because guess what every single other person is doing, because everyone's just as lost as you, everyone's just as scared of this AI thing as you. And so a lot of people, including you probably, are essentially signing up for this path of entrepreneurship, or creating a business, or kind of creating your own path, not going to college, because you see all these people online and you see all this quote unquote internet money. You see this, I've heard it called Wi-Fi bread, which is a little bit stupid, but like you see all this and you're like, it seems like it's super, like the whole space is super sketchy because everyone's trying to sell a course. But you see like an element of like possibility to it, and I think that's what gets a lot of people. And you're like, maybe maybe I could start a business, maybe I could do something like that. And a lot of people try, and the thing is that online they make it seem way easier than it is. It's just a path of pure sacrifice and pure pain, and the more that you can sacrifice and the more that you can, this is what I've just learned personally, and I've learned from a lot of mindset training and a lot of just binging content from these high level entrepreneurs. A lot of this, like the biggest part of it is just how much are you willing to do the work and how much are you willing to sacrifice in order to get your desired result, which is getting success in the business. And it's just a matter of how much are you willing to put, essentially. Yeah. Because everyone wants the same thing, right? Everyone wants the 10 out of 10 girl. Everyone wants the $100 million a month business. Everyone wants to be a billionaire, or like maybe not that level, but everyone at least wants financial freedom, like 10K a month. That's like the baseline. So every single person wants that, right? And so what makes you special? Like everyone wants that same goal. And what makes you feel that you deserve to get that goal, that you deserve to be at 10K a month, and they don't? Because you may think that you're way smarter than everyone else, but if you were actually smart, then you would already be there. Because essentially, being smart, at least kind of my definition, is that being smart is solving problems and getting what you want out of the world. Like a great indicator of intelligence is, do you have what you want out of the world? So if you want to make money and you've tried and tried and tried in all these kind of different ways, and you're just lost and nothing's working for you, you're not that smart. Okay, so lose the ego, you're not that smart. That's kind of what I learned. And that was a brutal wake-up call for me, just like it kind of is for you, just like it probably is for you right now. And so you're not extraordinarily gifted or smart or anything, and you're not different. It's just, and you're probably not coming from this crazy, deranged childhood where you have this insane motivation to get rich and essentially prove everyone wrong. Because everyone, you've probably been raised kind of average. It's just like the law of averages. Like everything, not the law of averages, but like, it's just like the most likely thing is that you're average or near average. Maybe you're a little bit above. If you're watching this much of this video, you probably are quite a bit above average. But to be successful in business, just because there's so much competition, you need to be way above average. And the way to do that is to just sacrifice more than every single other person, and to just do the work no matter how much pain it is, which is also a different form of it's another way to say sacrifice, like doing the work despite the pain and resistance that you feel. And so yeah, that's kind of what I learned. And a big part of that sacrifice for me is sacrificing the ego that I'm getting, and the validation that I'm getting, and the comfort that I have from making that $50 to $100 an hour right now. And I have to stop that. And so I'll mention another thing that happened to me just today. So after I got essentially scammed on that camera, and that's really been hitting me for the rest of tonight, because that happened this afternoon, and right now it's nighttime. You probably can't tell because of this background, but yeah, it's really been hitting me because it's like I probably just lost $500 on that. And after that, somebody essentially wanted to do a trade, like a camera trade, and that trade would have been like, so I have this ad, like this listing on Facebook Marketplace for my camera, because obviously I sell cameras, I resell cameras. And so this person's like, I'll give you my older camera, plus I'll put this much cash on top, and I'll give you this extra lens, and I'll give you this whole setup essentially, and trade for my upgraded camera. And essentially I like, just because like I know the value of all these beginner cameras, because we're both, like, I'm selling a nicer beginner camera and he's giving his slightly older beginner camera. I just know the value of these, and so I know that I'm gonna be profiting like over $100 off of this. And I was like, hell yeah. And the dude was like, okay, like we went back and forth a bunch, and this guy's messaged me before. The camera that he's trading to me is actually a camera that he bought off of me a few months ago. And so he was like, okay, sweet, meet me over here. And then that place is like 25 minutes away. And I was like, oh, okay, if you pay me extra. And he was, well, actually, I didn't ask him to pay me extra. He was like, I'll pay you an extra 20, drive over here. And then we did a little bit more back and forth, and then he was like, yeah, everything works on the camera, right? And then I was like, yep. And then he was like, okay, sweet. And we arranged meetup, and I'm literally on the way this evening. So this is like just like an hour or two before I'm talking to you right now. And this dude, when I'm 5 minutes away, so on this 20-minute drive, I'm 5 minutes away, I'm stopped at this red light, and I'm just like checking my messages on my phone, because like I want to see like, is he there, like did he message that he's here, and then I see a message from the dude. I'm like, okay, sweet, he's probably saying that he's here, like at the meetup spot. And then I see the message from this dude. He's like, oh, sorry, I'm canceling. Oh, sorry, can we arrange for another day? My car isn't working. And I was like, yeah, sure. Because people come up with any number of excuses on Facebook Marketplace. It's just like the nature of it. It's just a brutal, like cutthroat, like self-interested group of people on there. Like it just brings out like sort of the worst out of people a lot of the time. Because you're dealing with a lot of people that you don't know, and you're doing these trust-based cash transactions. And so that's just kind of, it just takes that kind of nature out of people. Like it pulls that part of human nature out of people, like the self-interested kind of selfish part of them. And so this dude, and I already know it's BS, but I was like, okay. And then this dude literally blocks me, and he doesn't see, like I call him because I have his number. I call him, I message him. I'm like, how far are you from the meetup spot? Like, how far do you live from there? I can just meet you at your house. Because I already knew he's talking BS, but I just wanted to make sure. So I call him and I message him and stuff like that. Like sometimes you just want to make sure. I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm sure you feel that way. Yeah, he just doesn't answer anything, and then he blocks me. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this dude's just BSing. And so I pull over to the side, and this was like a crazy full circle moment. So after I see his message, which is like, oh, sorry, let's meet up another day, my car isn't working, I pull over to the so I'm obviously on the road, and I pull over to the next place where I can like park and like figure out what to do, and then probably turn around and go back home because this dude just wasted my time. And so so this was, just for context, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this was just after I got scammed on that camera for like over $500 this afternoon. And I was like, okay, at least I can do this trade. And so I pull over, and I was just thinking like this has to be some sort of like divine intervention, because like my business partner just like 2 days ago was mentioning like, dude, you have to do more work on the business, you can't do this camera stuff anymore. And the day after I listened to him, I didn't do any camera stuff. I didn't buy any cameras. I just sold the inventory that I already have. And this was the next day. So 2 days ago, he told me like, bro, you need to stop this camera stuff. I get like you're making a lot of money from it, but like this is the time to focus on the business, if anything, because we're getting ready for wide release after 9 months of just like brutal up and downs, and all these like sort of all of these forms of like trouble and difficulty, and all of these horrible difficulties that we faced along the way on those 9 months of just developing this I'm not going to do too much details, but essentially preparing to release this business to the public. And he's like, dude, we've done so much work. I feel like I've been doing more work than you. That's what he's saying to me. Like you need to stop this camera stuff, and you need to lock in. And so I just remembered that, and I'm like, oh shoot, this is like God telling me like, no, you can't buy cameras, because I just bought a camera and I got scammed out of $500. And then I'm trying to do a camera trade, and God's like telling me again, like, no, don't try to play me like trading when you're trading, you're still buying this dude's camera. Like, you're like, just sell your stuff and nothing else, bro. That's kind of what I got from it. And I was thinking that as I was pulling over, and I literally look up, and it's the place where my prom happened, which is crazy, because I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, because the person who just scammed me out of $500 on the camera, her boyfriend goes to my high school, and she pulled up to the high school prom. And so I look up, and it's literally the venue at which my high school prom was. and I was like, that's a crazy full circle moment, and that kind of just like made it click for me. I was like, oh shoot, like I need to stop. I need to stop like facing this form of comfort, and I just need to just kind of face the fact that reselling these cameras is doing way more harm than good, and I'm making um, like a decent amount per hour technically, but if I just start putting like 12-hour days into this business, like 12 to I'm not gonna say 16-hour days because I don't believe in 16-hour days unless it's really necessary. But if I start putting in like 12-hour days into this business, and I just like, yeah, because for the last like month or so while I'm over summer, this business is just the only thing I'm thinking about. Literally, I'm not thinking about anything else. I wake up, and this guy, my business partner, picks me up, and we just work, and then he drops me off. That's literally how every day's been going, and I'm literally going to sleep thinking about this business, and I'm literally going to sleep playing videos, on like things that I need to learn about this business, specifically the advertisement, because I'm kind of the head of like I'm the person doing most of the advertisement for it, and I'm literally going to sleep listening to these videos about like, here's how to do organic marketing, and that is like I'm more than any other time I've just been like brutally just focusing on this, because that's just kind of what I've learned. Like, you need to have the singular focus, and I've been doing that with the caveat of, oh yeah, but I'm still gonna do cameras on the side. And I'm like, now I'm realizing, no, we can't do that. You need to do as much sacrifice as possible. We're not going 50-50. We're not hedging our bets, right? We're going all in. We're going bigger. We're going home, because I've spent thousands on this business. I've spent months and months of going to my business partner's house and doing so much work, and we've probably been through like 20 obstacles, like so many, just like every single difficulty you can think of, we're getting faced with. Like, we got like denied, like we have to get like an approval for something, and we got like denied for it, and it's even more troublesome because we're all minors working on this. Like, I'm 17, he's like less than a month from turning 18. He turns 18 in like 3 weeks, but still we're all minors for the time being. So we're opening up an LLC. That's a whole nother trouble because he's a minor. We're all minors, and then we're trying to develop this thing, and we have no idea how to develop. So we're literally stuck, like essentially hitting our heads against a wall for hours and hours, or sorry, not hours and hours, for months and months, just like almost, if you think of it as sort of like a Kalshi or like a poly market chart, like I don't know if you know that, like or almost like a stock market chart, and if you just see like it going up and down, like on poly market, it's like is Argentina gonna win this World Cup game, and it moves like up and down. It's like 91% chance, and then during the game, if the other team scores and it goes down, like 55% chance. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's this live likelihood chart, and I feel like there's that live likelihood chart that was going on in my brain over those 9 months, and I just feel like at the start of it, like the first month or two, it was this huge rise. It was like it was almost like the Dunning-Kruger effect, where you could look it up if you want, but it's almost like this Dunning-Kruger effect where it went way up when we started the business, and I was like, oh shoot, this is gonna be the thing that well, there was a hint of hesitancy like starting the business. I was at like 60, maybe 70% chance that this was gonna that this business was gonna be successful and make us like millions. And so yeah, I'm being pretty ambitious about it. That probably sounds crazy, but I do think genuinely this is gonna make us millions, and I'll explain my likelihood of that right now. So when we were starting, for the first month or two, it was at like a 60 or 70%. When he was explaining the business to me, or maybe like 50%. It was just like, oh shoot, this might work, this might be it. And then there's this rut, just this crazy rut, while I was going through my junior year of high school, because I'm becoming a senior now, and it was just like, it went down while we were going through this insane troubles of like obstacle after obstacle, and just being so lost on how to develop this, because we thought it would be easy with AI just does everything. That's kind of what people say online, and it's not that easy, because we tried it and it's definitely not that easy. It's kind of hard to explain this without giving away the business and giving more details on it, but it was just this insane rut of just like, I was at like 20, maybe like 10% Like I'd say like 10% is a bit harsh. It was like 15-20%. It was low though, and it was just crazy low. And over the past month, because we finally found, instead of us doing the developing, we realized that this is just not going to work out. We're not going to make a quality product with this. So we finally found someone, because we were looking for months and months. We were like, should we do like a Reddit post? Should we try to find someone in person? We don't want to do a Reddit post because that's going to cause a whole different kind of issues, because we're going to have to hire someone remotely, and there's like labor laws and everything like that, and how are we going to pay them, and can we trust that person? And we finally found like basically like a perfect fit for this business. And he's like in person, he's a young ambitious person just like us, very similar mindset, and super skilled at developing the exact product that we want developed. So it's just this crazy thing, and my confidence in the business quickly shot up quickly after realizing just how vital this guy was, just how useful this guy is to our business and to our success in general. And it just shot up over the last month to like 80-90%. And so the idea that I want to get at, and this ties back to the fact that I've failed at 30-40 different business ventures, just trying every single thing, just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, that you just need to stay the course. And so there's a lot of little lessons that you can extract from what I've been telling you, and I'll continue to make videos like these, because when I was making $0 a month and I just wanted to see my first $1,000 or something, this would have been super useful. But literally, like, this would have been super useful to younger me, like 3-4 years ago, even like 2 years ago. Essentially, the point I just want to get at is that you just need to stay the course. Just like keep going, keep trying stuff, and that the enemy is shiny object syndrome. And the way that I avoided shiny object syndrome in this business, and this is the kind of the last point that I'll probably leave you with, is that I found a business partner, and it basically, when I was feeling down, he was feeling up, and when he was feeling down, I was feeling up. So we kind of lifted each other up when we needed it. And there's this saying, it's a pretty common saying, it's that if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, go together. And so I stopped prioritizing this fast, quick money, this top 10 easiest ways of making money, top 10, the fastest way to get to the fastest way to get to $10,000 a month. And I started focusing on what really needed to be done, which is zooming out, looking at the bigger picture. I wanted to go far, so I needed to go together. Stop thinking about going fast. That's not what you should be doing right now. And I guess I sort of achieved that with camera reselling, but beyond that, with reselling, I kind of started going fast by starting alone and just doing that camera reselling myself, and just I was literally silent about that for the first 6 months that I was doing that camera reselling. I got like well over $10,000, and I was just silent about it. And so I was kind of fast in that way, but I've gotten to the point where it's like, now it's time to go far, right? So I've made my initial funding, and now instead of trying to go fast, we're going far. So think longer term, because this is what all the great entrepreneurs do. Because if you read their biographies, their autobiographies, if you read the book about Elon Musk from Walter Isaacson, which is a book that me, my business partner, and the person that we hired have all read, like the person developing our product. And the way that side tangent, the way that it really clicked that this dude is a perfect fit for our business, for our company culture, is that my business partner showed him the book, and he was like, you need to read this book on Elon Musk, because in X page it talks about this thing which really applies to the business. And he was saying that to this developer guy, and the developer guy shows the same book. He was like, oh, this book, I have this book, I read it. And I was like, that's crazy, that he's a perfect fit. But anyways, if you look at all the greats, they all think longer term, and there's a saying, from First Man, Chris Sturmey, sorry, look him up, or ONEM, First Man, like 1ST man, or ONEM. Just look it up. It's gonna be this bald guy with a beard, and he says men who think in decades are dangerous, and that's a lesson that I've been remembering. Men who think in decades are dangerous. So stop thinking so short term, start thinking long term, and naturally when you think long term, you're gonna go together. So it's been 9 months and we haven't seen a single dollar, and my business partner has been being like berated almost by like the people around him, he's like, oh shoot, your younger brother is making money with reselling, because I taught his younger brother how to resell, to fund a lot of the things that that's a side point, but I taught his younger brother how to resell, and he's starting to make almost the same amount of money as me because I taught him. And so people around him are like, and he told me this, people around him are like almost confronting him. They're like, oh shoot, your little brother is making more money than you. All you talk about is business, and you make $0 a month. That's kind of crazy. Like, what's going on? And basically the thing is that he's going all in. He's spending these long ass days, and he's really, really focused. And so the point, it's been 40 minutes, give me a break. The point that I want to get at is that you need to, this is the last point, because I've been, this is a different section from what I've been talking to earlier, but it all connects, because I've been a single stream of thought, and it's just naturally led to this point, so it all connects. But if you want to go far, go together. So I had so much shiny object syndrome with all the businesses that I started before, because I didn't have a like-minded person. I did not have a like-minded person that I was doing these businesses with. It was just me. And so because the nature of business is that you don't want to tell people about the business until it starts making money, obviously. Because like everyone hates the guy who just talks about the business all day, and they end up not making anything. And so I was mostly silent about all these businesses, the agency, the drop shipping, the YouTube channels. And so the con of that is that you're not held accountable. You just as fast as you started the business, you can quit the business, because if you quit it, no one's gonna know, because they never knew that you started in the first place. And so when you have this business partner, you guys are both on the same page. You guys aren't going to be doing the shiny object syndrome together, because if you guys both have the same mindset, then when one of you strays from the path, the other brings him back. When the other strays on the path, you bring him back. And so that straying and bringing back takes time, and there's a lot of discussion to be that happens between you and your business partner that is not directly contributing to the business, which I've definitely experienced myself. Like, we just talk so much, a lot of it is theory, a lot of it is disagreements. Sometimes it lightly becomes arguments. It's never gotten that bad, but like, there's literally been points where my business partner has had horrible levels of motivation on the business, and he's just thinking like, oh shoot, I don't think this is gonna work out, like, just honestly. And then there's times there's literally a time where I was essentially threatening him. I was like, dude, it's been like 5 months, because this was around 4 months ago. So 5 months in, I was like, dude, it's been like 5 months, we're not seeing anything. I really need to see more effort from you. So essentially what he just told me like 2 days ago is what I told him 5 months ago. I was like, dude, we're not seeing results. I need to see more from you. If you don't do anything much, because I didn't want to abandon the business, so I gave him a chance before, included in that threat, I kind of gave him a chance. So I was like, I gave him a chance. So I was like, if I don't see more work from you, like if we don't start seeing like serious progress in the next like 1 to 2 months, we're probably gonna have I'm probably just gonna leave this. And so what actually happened over those 1 or 2 months, he reminded me in a very kind way, which I really respect him for, through action rather than just telling me. He essentially told me, like, this is the nature of business. It's sacrifice, and it's spending a lot of time without seeing results. And if you spend long enough and you do enough work, you're going to see the results. And that was an excellent reminder for me. And that was just like I mentioned a few times before in this video, that was a full circle moment, and it all just connected together, and it all just clicked and all made sense for me. And I was like, I have to record a video, and I have to tell the internet this, and I have to tell whoever's watching this for 44 minutes and 3 seconds, and who is kind enough to spend their time listening to this freshly 17, yeah, just 1 year away from being legal, guys. So if you can't stand how hot I am, then guys, just wait a year.